Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Ed Morse Mazda in Port Richey, Florida. And guess what? You guys have asked for it and I've tracked one down. We have this freshly new trim. It's a 2021 Mazda 6 Carbon Edition. But before we dive into this beautiful mid-size sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. So the mid-size car segment is fierce. You got the long-lasting Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. Of course, that newly redesigned Hyundai Sonata. But boy, oh boy, some people overlook the Mazda 6. And I'm telling you right now, for 2021, this Carbon Edition, this is really the one. I want to show you why this is the one. If I was looking for a midsize sedan, why I would go Mazda 6 Carbon Edition. But I also want to show you what makes it unique. What are some of those updates? What are some of those changes? And also why, when you're looking for that midsize, you want to add the Mazda 6 to your list to go and test drive. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this poly metal gray metallic Carbon Edition Mazda 6 and see why I would park it in my garage. Right off the bat, just love the color. This color on a Mazda MX-5, on a Mazda 3, on the CX-9, on the CX-5, fits it to a T. When we start at the front of the business, you can see that unique style of headlight design that Mazda brings to the table. Of course, we're talking about LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, like the way they black everything out on the interior. And what's interesting is that this design has been around for a few years now, the Mazda 6, but it still looks fresh. And I feel like it's actually aged and will continue to age way better than the competition. Super smooth, no fake vents, none of that garbage tacked on. You can see how that design philosophy that Mazda brings to the table, that beautiful curves, wraps around, a little bit of chrome trim, nothing too crazy. And then as we come across the front grille, you're gonna get this blacked out grille, part of the Carbon Edition, like the gloss black elements, fully functional, and the real nice shape that they do to the opening with some shiny chrome around that edge there. And if you notice, it actually mimics the Mazda badge. You see how far it goes into that headlight housing on both sides? It's meant to mimic this design. Now, as you drop down, you're gonna have this lower lip extension, all finished in that poly metal gray metallic color. You can see that nice metallic flake there. You have one simple horizontal bar and the rest is fully functional. So that's one of the things right off the bat as we start at the front of the business. I love the Mazda 6 more than the Accord, the Sonata, and the Camry, just based off of what the design element is and how clean it is. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you can see you have a nice low slung hood, simple on the body lines. Look at this, right here, you pick it up, goes right into the A-pillar, same thing on the passenger side. And as we come around the bend, let's see what we're talking about, Carbon Edition wheel and tire package. Now, when you hear carbon, don't think carbon fiber. There's no carbon fiber, and this is not a carbon fiber edition, it's a Carbon Edition. You can use carbon in a lot of different ways. Carbon monoxide, carbon dating, or Carbon Edition. So I like the multi-spoke, gloss black with a little bit of metallic flake in there. Beautiful wheel with the gray, pops really nicely. This is a 19-inch wheel. Behind the wheel, peeking, you can see just a little bit, are rotors that are about 12 inches in diameter. So you could get your 12 inches in stopping capability. They are fully ventilated. And one of my favorite things about Mazda is that what you can't see underneath all the sheet metal, that's what makes the driving so enjoyable. And that's another reason why I would go mid-size sedan Mazda 6, just because of the sheer driving engagement and enjoyment. But boy, oh boy, I don't think many people would argue with me that this 19-inch wheel goes well. 225 on the width, and a 45 series sidewall. I think that's just low enough. If you go 40 or 35, that would look like a rubber band. Looks really clean. Now, as we go down the side here, you can see how you take that body line coming into the door panel. You have metallic gloss black on the mirror caps, which are great. And another thing that I actually am gonna zonk is I wish they would have done gloss black on the window treatment, top and bottom. The silver is nice. It matches with what's going on with the grille, but I would like to see the gloss black because this is Carbon Edition. So that's gonna be a zonk, but I do like the black mirror caps. You're gonna get your standard size sunroof. You know what I'm gonna say next, right? Carbon Edition, it would have looked sexy to just have a blacked out roof. Just all gloss black. I love the way they use such a small shark fin antenna. I wish more brands would find out where does Mazda get that shark fin antenna from, because obviously it does the business, but it doesn't stick up 12 feet tall to where it's like a rudder. Continuing down the side, the beautiful line, especially down below. And like I said, this design has been around for a few years, still looking super fresh, color matched door handles, even the way they bring the trim out into the rear pillar. I wish that they would have made this a little window, quarter window, but the gloss black is nothing too obnoxious. And then the fender, as Lori kind of swings it around, the way that the body line gives it a nice flared fender look. As you're coming towards the rear, you're gonna have a very low trunk lid spoiler. This is part of that Carbon Edition package. So you're getting that nice metallic gloss black trunk lid spoiler. Look at the way they notched it out around the Mazda logo. Just those simple touches, and you'll see it's carried throughout. Mazda does the touches so well to add up to a big picture. Chrome trim to match with what's going on at the front. Like the taillight design. The turbo badge is a little tacky, but hey, we do have turbocharged power, which means we also have turbocharged fun. And as we drop down, that's all you need. Nice, simple, clean rear lower bumper area. They have a little bit of flat black and one exhaust on each side. Totally balanced. Doesn't look like a weird art experiment or a science experiment that's gone wrong. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see all the things that are going right on this Mazda 6. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, and I wish that it was a little bit more further over, so I am gonna zonk it. But what I'm definitely not gonna zonk is you have that 2.5 liter inline four. And the great news is, if you look at the back of the engine near the firewall, this is an inline four turbocharged engine. Now, if you use premium fuel, which I would, you should as well, because guess what? If you use premium fuel, you're gonna get 250 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, so you don't have to worry about CVTs. 0 to 60 in about 6.3 seconds. Top speed, 149 miles an hour. The Mazda 6 weighs around 3,437 pounds, and we do have a front-wheel drive example. You can get all-wheel drive if you want that versatility, especially if you live in some really bad climates where it snows. MPGs, 26 on the highway, city, 35 on the highway. And like I said, underneath the engine compartment, really simple engine cover. It's super clean. It sort of looks like you could put 2 drinks if you're ever, checking your oil and stuff. You could put 2 drinks right there, like little cup holders on top of that engine cover. But the great news is we have turbocharged power and a 6-speed automatic transmission. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see what the Carbon Edition brings to the table. All right, guys, we're inside the 2021 Mazda 6, and this is the Carbon Edition. And guess what? I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I am needing a midsize sedan for my family and my travels. I'm really digging this one. I almost forgot about Mazda. I was just looking at the Sonata and the Accord and the Camry. I'm digging this Carbon Edition. How much is it? MSRP for everything the way you see it is $33,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, absolutely love the styling. Up top, soft touch material. You have some of that Carbon Edition trim there that's special to this particular trim. Looking great. The silver, look at how they work the silver from the door handle into the trim. The red contrast stitching, the leather on the armrest, and even a nice sized door pocket where guess what? You could get 2 Chipotle burritos with extra guac, even though guac does cost extra, and fit it in there and have a bottle of soda to wash it down. You have the Bose sound system, nice tasteful silver trim there. And as you go to the dash, soft touch. Look at this, soft touch, carbon material here to go with the trim. The silver is great. What Mazda is doing is they're bringing premium level without a premium brand. They're still just Mazda. It's not like Toyota and Lexus. If you want premium, you got to go Lexus. With Mazda, you just get a Mazda. And this is what you're getting, these great finishes. This is where it gets a little bumpy. So you do have an 8-inch infotainment system. And this is probably one of the most dated out of the class when you're looking at the other midsize sedans. But it is a touchscreen, which is nice. I know a lot of people still want that. What's also nice, it's very easy to use. It's very intuitive. So whatever you want to select, you just click on it and it brings it right there. Let me show you the backup camera. Here's your backup camera. It is a little grainy and you don't have trajectory, but remember, this is a give and take. So you're not, I never said this was the perfect midsize sedan. I think that this is the one that I would buy. I don't mind the way that it's integrated into the dash, especially, like I said, all this is soft touch material. You have your start stop button right there. You work your way down. That silver trim comes all the way across. And then look what we have here. Dual climate, wonderful knobs. It feels like you're opening up a safe. That's what the dials feel like. Heated, ventilated seats. Yes, ventilated at 33,000. And heated steering wheel. You have a nice cubby. No wireless charging, so that's going to be a zonk. I wish that this was wireless charging. You do have a little bit of gloss black, but you know what? It actually has a nice texture underneath it, and fingerprints aren't too bad. This is going to control that 6-speed automatic transmission. You do have a sport mode to adjust the way that the transmission behaves with the engine, so that's a nice simple thing. You just hit up and you're in sport mode. Hit down and you're out of sport mode. You have a direct drive control knob. If you don't want to touch the screen, you could touch this right here and navigate through the infotainment system. And that is, like I said, 8-inch system. And guess what? For 2021, everything above Touring, you're getting Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. So, you know that the white cord you got to bring, the USB cord you got to bring with you wherever you go? You don't need it in here. It's wireless. That's a nice feature. That's some new technology. I like the cleanliness of this Rolodex style lid. You have your 2 cup holders, key fob, tasteful, simple. It's not going to poke you in the family jewels and hurt all day, which is great, and it's not going to take up all of your pocket space. We'll put that right there so you can look at it. I like the soft. You look at the soft material, and I'm telling you, this is soft. Armrest, soft. You know how you went and you hoarded a bunch of Charmin? It's as soft as a Charmin. You open this up, you could probably fit, I would say 6 Twinkies. Don't go for 7 or 8 because you're going to squirt cream all over this beautiful interior. 2 USBs, an aux jack, and a 12 volt. And you can close that door nicely. And then here is the cherry on top. And they literally are almost like cherry red. This dark red leather, the stitch work. Look at this. Look at the crisscross contrast, soft material, beautiful work that they've done to the interior. And this is what's going to make you feel like you're not in a regular mid-size sedan. I'm 6 feet tall, and it makes sense that I feel good in this car because think about it. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm in a Mazda 6. Maybe it was made for taller people, but I got plenty of headroom. You got that standard size sunroof, which is a nice extra touch. And I'm really glad that they went with a lighter headliner just to kind of make everything open and airy. But why don't you come over with the business end? Because I'm telling you, when we get to the driving portion, this is where the magic happens. Come on. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. I like the way that they have the 2 memory seat settings right here where the seat controls are, easy to get to, really, really nice. Position everything perfect. Steering wheel. It could be a little bit thicker, but you know what? It's almost pretty much straight up perfect. Love the stitch work. The leather is great. They should have notched out this little hole here just to kind of make it look a little bit more special. But other than that, the steering wheel looks fantastic. You do have plastic paddles, and they are small and they are plastic, but this will allow you to go up and down that 6-speed automatic transmission. And then the dash. Clear, concise, straightforward. I know everybody's going to say, well, Joe, it doesn't have a 12-inch digital display like some of the other cars. Well, guess what? I don't care. I love the way it's got a nice analog tach, analog speedometer. You have your digital display on the right. Other than that, you got a head-up display on top of it. So they got you covered with some technology. It's not like they just have one speedometer in the center and that's it. Everything else is well sorted. But why don't we go ahead? Mid-size is important on what's going on in the back seat. And we know what's going on in the back seat, don't we? Let's see if there's enough room to have some fun in the back seat. All right, guys, back seat time. And you know what? It feels good back here. There's plenty of room to drive people around. But the great news is there's plenty of room to have some fun as well. Is it as much room as, say, a Honda Accord or a Camry? I think it's a little bit tighter, but still plenty of room. Still 6 feet tall. I got a nice headliner that's been sort of notched out so that I don't feel claustrophobic. The whole seats, look at this. Nice, wonderful leather. You got a good-sized pocket. Put a mirror back here. Have your kids stare at themselves and really, truly love themselves and learn that they have to love themselves before they can learn to love anybody else. That's the important key of the day, and you don't have to pay me extra for that. That's free of charge here on Rady's Rides. You have your 2 rear AC vents with a little bit of shiny trim just to kind of tie it all in together. And then I have my own pocket, but I'm not gonna put a mirror in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put a nice big Twinkie and maybe a towel so I don't get cream all over the place. But other than that, it feels really good back here. If you're wondering, well, Joe, is there any connectivity? I'm glad you asked. Not only do we have a nice soft armrest, 2 cup holders, heated seats, and then watch this. That's the sound that it makes. So I didn't make that sound, it actually makes that sound. 2 USBs and some felt lining. So if you want to put some Skittles back here, the colors will not rub off, and you could plug in your power supply right here, and then we're gonna close it. It's interesting how it makes that noise, but hey, it's a nice touch from Mazda. Put the seat back. Why don't we go ahead though? We talked about the room in here. Let's go check out the space in the trunk and then take this Mazda 6 Carbon Edition for a spin. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. You could do a multitude of different ways. You could push underneath here, or you could just, if you have the key fob, push here and just lift up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, nice wide opening. Of course, you have your levers right here where you just pull, and you could do a 60-40 split on those seats. And if you're saying to me, Joe, well, how much room do we have? You have almost 15 cubic feet of space, so plenty of room, nice loading floor. Let's pick up the floor, because I know that's always a question that's asked. You do get a spare. And look, they actually matched the red that holds down the spare to the interior. That's smart styling. That Mazda goes all the way and make sure that you are going to go all the way and make it home even if you have a flat. So that's a very nice touch as well. But I promise you we were going to go for a drive. We have the key fob. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Mazda 6 for a spin. All right, guys, we just left Ed Morse Mazda. We're in the 2021 Mazda 6 Carbon Edition. I love the way the whole interior is laid out. I do have it in sport mode, and you could see just getting to the infotainment system, easy if you want to touch it. You could use that beautiful direct drive control knob, go into the different features. Very simple. The seats, everything is so nicely touched in here. All of the materials, the level of fit and finish. But let's see how on-throttle acceleration test is going to go. So give it a little throttle. On throttle. Little bit of tire squeal, that's okay. So it really shows that turbocharged 4-cylinder. I know there's another vehicle, at least one in this class, that has a turbocharged 4-cylinder, and this really does have a great amount of power and torque to get you going. The 6-speed shifts so smoothly, it's ridiculous. And it's nice to know that you don't have to settle for a CVT transmission. Pulling out onto the highway here, visibility is great. The seats are super comfy. And I love the fact that they're ventilated and heated. At this price point, we've been in cars that you could tack on another $20,000 and they still don't have the same amount of features when it comes simply to ventilated seats that this vehicle has. But the instrumentation, it's classy, it's easy to read, nicely laid out. I think there's eventually going to be a day where everybody's going to get sick and tired of digital dashes. I really believe it, and they're going to want more old school setup with an analog tach and speedometer. But this really does have just a great layout. The steering feedback is wonderful. And that's the thing, is it's been designed to really reward the driver. So especially on your commutes, if you have curvy roads where you live, first of all, I'm jealous. Second of all, you're going to enjoy driving this Mazda 6 more so than the competition, simply just off the fact of how they work the suspension in here. All right, guys, having that multi-link rear independent rear suspension, the feedback is great coming from the back and the front, so they communicate very well together. Good steering feel, and even like things like the head-up display, super clear. I like the fact that you do have paddles if you want to go up and down the 6-speed automatic, and to do that, it's real simple. You just take the shifter, you push it over to the left. Now we're in manual mode, and I actually have a gear indicator in the lower left-hand corner. I'm in 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Let me slow down a little bit here. On throttle. So you're really not waiting for turbo boost to kick in. It comes in at a very low RPM. 310 pound-feet of torque is very sufficient to get you going, get that momentum, because it's not only about horsepower, torque is also very, very important, and it shouldn't just be chasing a horsepower number. I know you heard the beeping. This does have that emergency braking system to let you know, hey, somebody or something is stopped in front of you. Time for the brakes. I like those type of safety features. And that's another way that this Mazda 6 Carbon Edition stands out, is with those safety features. Hey guys, one more time on throttle, using the paddles. On throttle. On the brakes. Very controlled, very composed, feels good. And that's the thing, is it's very confident inspiring, that if you come around a corner and there's a truck in the road, you feel confident that you're going to be able to navigate around it. The car's going to give you good feedback. It's going to stay planted. And this Mazda 6 does all of those things. But hopefully it gave you a nice overall feel of what it brings to the table, especially compared to the competition, and why I would want this Mazda 6 more so than the other mid-size sedans. I mean, just from this interior, it feels so much more expensive than what the vehicle costs. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Ed Morse Mazda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, it's been another great day here at Ed Morse Mazda of Port Richey. I definitely gotta thank Brian, Quentin, Bill, the whole crew, getting us this 2021 all new trim. Not a 2020, not a 2019 or a 2018 or a 2017, 16, 15, 14. Yes, I could count backwards. 2021 Carbon Edition. What a wonderful design. What a wonderful driving experience. It may not have all the latest fancy dancy technology. It may not park itself or, you know, do a dance for you, but what it does do, it really gives you such a welcoming environment. The fit and finish and the style, it really is almost timeless. I'm very curious to see how this design will go up against many of the other mid-size sedans as time goes by. But if you want to keep seeing these really new, attractive vehicles that are coming out for 2021, new trims, new models, new designs, new refreshes, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Radius Rise merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera, the love of my life, my wonderful, beautiful, smart, intelligent wife, Lori, working that camera like a champ. She's out here in the Florida sun. It may be fall, but it feels like summertime right now. So definitely show her some love in the comment section, because she's bringing it and bringing it in a big way. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride. Did you like that?
Yeah, great job.
Thanks.